The story I'm about to tell you actually happened in the summer of 2013. I was working at the local Dollar General one night, and the time on the register clock read 7:58 p.m. The store would be closing in the next hour, and my friend Susan had invited me to this killer party in Raleigh, so you can imagine how ready I was to punch out. At 8:05 p.m., a man in his early 30s walked into the store and approached the cash register. His hair was black and oily and came down to his shoulders. The man's skin was pale, almost white, and his crooked, large nose reminded me of a crow. But his eyes? It was a great, big, wide glazers. They were baby blue, and behind them seemed to be a happy carousel of mania. He put his calloused hands on the counter and asked, "Can I use your bathroom?" Inside my head, I groaned because I had just cleaned the bathroom not long ago, but I smiled like a good employee and replied, "Yes, you may, it's right over there." I pointed him to the direction of the lavatory door. It was located down aisle 20. The man gave me this weird and almost childish grin and said, "Thank you." He entered the bathroom and shut the door and locked it. Seeing as I had just completed the closing sanitary procedures, I'd know if he did anything gross, such as urinate on the floor or stop up the toilet. With my arms folded, I looked down aisle 20 and watched the bathroom. At any point, I expected to hear the toilet flush, the sound of a running water, and for him to step out. But he sat in there. And he sat in there. And he sat in there. And sat in there. Eventually, the time on the clock read 8:50 p.m. I approached the bathroom door and lightly knocked on it. "Are you okay in there?" I called out. There was no response. I went back to my register and made a 5-minute closing announcement. I made sure to speak a little louder than normal as a subtle way of telling the man to get the fuck out of the bathroom and go home. 9:00 p.m. Right before making the final call, the man stepped out of the bathroom and came up to the register. This time he wasn't smiling. As a matter of fact, there was no expression on his face, but that same eerie look in his eyes remained the same. In a very low and dark voice, the man said, "It has been done." Something about his tone sent a cold rattle down my spine and made my feet shake inside the Adidas they filled. The way he stared at me made me feel extremely uncomfortable. I asked him, "What are you talking about?" The man smiled a little and he left the store. Fucking weirdo. As I stepped around the register to lock the front door, I saw a trail of red footprints on the freshly buffed and polished floor. At first I thought perhaps there'd been a ketchup spill or something, but then I noticed it was blood. I followed the footprints from the front of the store, down aisle 20, and I realized they stopped at the bathroom door. What the hell? I asked myself, deciding whether or not I should look inside the bathroom. When I opened the door, my jaw dropped. There was blood smeared everywhere. The sink, the toilet bowl, the mirror, and the paper towel dispenser looked as if a toddler went crazy with red finger paint. On the tile floor was a pentagram, and across it from on the wall, written in blood, read the words, "God to Son, Son to the people to love, love to hate, hate to nails, nails to crucifix, crucifix to blood." I'll never forget mopping up that mess. What creeps me out the most is the man is still out there somewhere, walking amongst us. I've disclosed the name of the town where this Dollar General is located to avoid any legal issues and having people call the business asking about the bloody bathroom incident.